Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Look for Warriors, and I want to talk about something I saw on actually the Looking for Warriors Instagram today. It's going to Look for Warriors Instagram, and there's a quote from John Taylor Gatto, and I'm going to try from memory to recite the exact quote. So the quote said, and I might not get this exactly right, but this is the spirit of the quote. It says, "It is absurd and anti-life to listen to someone talking about construction of a home when all you want to do is write poetry, or to hear someone talking about poetry when all you want to do is construct a home. It is absurd and anti-life." That's John Taylor Gatto. Was on the Looking for Warriors Instagram page. Now, yes, it's about choice, isn't it? And it's about excitement. You know, you feel that excitement, you just want to do something. And excitement is a difficult word. It's worded better in that Instagram post, actually. When all you want to do is recite poetry, when all you want to do is construct a home. We're all individuals. We're all individuals. I spent 10, 15 years working in front of a computer, meeting my clients, sitting down, talking to them, listening to them, learning that I had to write things down to make sure things were actually done. And for someone else, that would have been I found it very, very exciting. I found building a business very exciting. And it was the number one thing that I wanted to do more than anything else in the world. But for someone else, it would have been unbelievably boring, because we're all individuals and we all want to do different things, and that's good. That's good. In a good, open, free market society, we should all want to do different things. But it's difficult in a school. It's difficult in a school of 30 kids, because how can you have an individual development plan for every one of 30 kids when you're one teacher? It's just not possible. I dropped my own kids back to school and felt a bit weird about it, just because I didn't enjoy my own time at school. But they seem to be quite happy. And the teacher also, they're good people. They're really, really good people. And they care about the kids and they care about the job they're doing. But they're in a system. They're in a system which means they can't be successful. You just can't care about that many kids, can you? If you have 30 kids every year for maybe, let's say, 20-year career, 600 kids, can you really care about every single one of them? And some of the kids that are coming into you they're going to end up in a bad place. There's not much you can do about it. But I can care about my kids. I care about my kids. And I'm kind of responsible for the outcome in a way, because the way it works is, with kids, you either pay now or you pay later. Meaning, you either put the time in when they're small, when they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you put time in then with them, noticing them, being attentive with them, knowing that they exist, that they're real life human individuals, noticing that they're going to copy things that you do, and noticing that you're not really going to like that when you see yourself reflected back sometimes. And realizing that you need to change yourself, not change the kid. But you pay now or you pay later. Meaning that if you don't put that time in when they're small, if you don't notice them, if you don't play with them, if you don't sit down on the ground with them, if you don't push the cars around with them, if you don't, and we don't all have time to do that. But if you don't do it and you ignore them and you find them annoying and they've taken away your life, then you'll be paying later. And I see people who are paying later. I see people who are paying later. I see them in the newspapers. In court, the newspapers are about court cases. Kids in jail. Kids, there was a news story in Ireland few days ago about one kid. He stabbed another kid a number of times, and the kid that got stabbed is dead. So his family is devastated. And I'm not saying that, anything that happened there was their fault. But how does that happen? How does that happen that a 16-year-old kid starts stabbing another 16-year-old kid? Or 15 or whatever age they were. How does that happen? But even the kid who killed the other kid, his life and his family's life is devastated now as well. All their lives are devastated. And now they have to put in time. I'm not saying they didn't put in time before, maybe they did, I know nothing about them. But they're certainly putting in time now. Whether it's just time to go and visit in prison. Time to sit up at night and wonder how all this happened. How you got to this point. So we're putting in time no matter what. We're putting in time no matter what. And I have a responsibility that the teachers didn't have, because if my kids don't do well in life, if my kids, and I'm not even talking about end up in prison or being stabbed or something like that, I'm talking about just having a difficult life. I pay for that later on because they have to experience that. They'll never see, once they leave the school, they'll probably never see the teacher again. They might run into the teacher once. They might be going and getting a cup of coffee and the teacher's there and they might say hello. But it's not the relationship that a parent has with a child, where the success of that child is something that you experience the rest of your life. And success, what is success? In my mind, success is being you to the fullest ability that you can possibly be. Being you, whatever that happens to be. In whatever country you're in, whatever culture you're in, and whatever, being who you are. Finding who you are and being who you are to the fullest extent that you can. It's not necessarily about money, even though money's not a bad thing if you want to make money. It's not necessarily about fame, TikTok fame, what everybody wants now, or YouTube fame, whatever it happens to be. It's not necessarily about that. It's just about being you to the best of your ability, fully. And that's about finding your excitement. And finding your excitement is about being able to do construction if that's what you find exciting, or being able to read poetry if that's what you find exciting. And a school system cannot read you poetry if it's time to do construction. And that's why we get back to John Taylor Gatto's quote. And he says it's absurd, and he's genius, absolute genius. And he says it's absurd and anti-life to expect someone to listen to someone read poetry when all they want to do is learn about the construction of a house. But it's also absurd and anti-life to expect someone to listen to the construction of a house when all they want to do is read poetry. It's about finding the excitement within. And it's about you knowing your excitement, but also you teaching your kids. And this is something that I'm learning every day. I'm not saying this because I've worked it all out. I'm saying it because I'm working it out. I'm working it out. It's about showing your kids how to find their excitement. And they're not going to find it in school, because school just doesn't have time. There's just not enough time in school to teach them that. There's been Alan here from Look for Warriors. Do me a favour. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. And put in a comment about John Taylor Gatto's quote. Tell me about John Taylor Gatto's quote. Or the best John Taylor Gatto quote that you know.